Hello, how are you? My name's Samantha and this is the Khaos Kismet podcast. This is my place on the internet where I talk about all the crafty things that I have been doing in the last week. This week we have so I've got my pile here. We've got some crocheting, we've got some knitting, we technically have some sewing and some cross stitch. We do not have very much, but we have stuff. The things we have, we've done a lot of work on. We just don't have a vast array of projects. So this should be quite a quick one this week. Anything that I talk about, I will try and link down below. Any place that you can find me on the internet will also be linked down below. And if you have any questions, just leave comments or contact me, either email, Instagram. Yeah, everything's down there to get in touch. If I forget information on something, which is quite a common thing for me to forget stuff, then just give me a poke and I will give you the information if I have it. It is currently 9 o'clock at night. This is way later than I normally record. I normally record in the morning, so I now have my Tinkerbells on and the light might be a little bit weird. I'm sorry. This is the first chance I've had to record. Kids are off school and I was desperately trying to get something finished to show you the finished project, but no, it's not quite finished. So the one finish I do have, I don't actually have with me. I will show you a picture. Ta-da! Oven gloves. So we have these little hand embroidered bits on here. I think I said last week it was my boyfriend's birthday last week, and he had asked for some kitchen things because he's just bought a new house and he likes spending time in the kitchen, so he'd asked for some oven gloves and an apron. So I've not had a chance to do the apron yet. I did the gloves, obviously. He has them, he likes them, he walked around with them like this because he's a proper grown-up, and so I did it as well. So I'm also in the process of making him a hot pad, which he didn't ask for, but he really enjoys. He likes the hot pad. It's got capybara fabric on it. I'll show you it next week because it's currently stuck in the sewing machine because I'm halfway through putting the binding on. And then I had to go away for some child-related thing and then forgot what I was doing and didn't come back to it because ADHD is fun. So yeah, you'll see the hot pad next week. Hopefully you'll see the apron next week as well. But that's the gloves. They're done. I've just got an oven glove that I already have. Traced the shape around. The inside of them is quilted. You get special, it looks like quite dense, thick quilt batting, but it's like heat resistant. It's not heat proof, it's heat resistant. So you put that inside things like oven gloves and that helps with the not burning your fingers. So I've like quilted that to the inside of the gloves, and then you put the inside in there, and then I've put the binding around I'll show you them again. Because I wanted this bit to stay smooth apart from the embroidery, so you just make the two gloves, slide one inside the other, and then use this binding here to seal it up. And yeah, they come out really well. I'm very pleased with them. And now I just need to get cracking on the apron. I've still got, I'm not going to see him, not this weekend, but the weekend after, before I get to see him again. So I've got time. Hopefully that's enough time. He doesn't mind anyway. He's not really one for celebrating birthdays and things. I care more about his birthday than he does. The threads that I use for them, in case anybody's interested, are DMCs. The dark one is 3863. 3863. Sorry, my nails are a mess as well. And the lighter one is 482. No, 842. 842. I know what numbers look like. I'm good at numbers. Oh my god. I think my daily caffeine is just wearing off. Right, so that's my finish. I'm going to show you my almost finish. And I was gutted that I couldn't get this done. It's covered in dog hair, look. This is the blanket that I have been making for It was meant to be for my 10-year-old's birthday in December. And bless him, he's been so good about it because he knows it takes a really long time. And it's the most complicated. Right, see the stitch marker there? That's where I was when you saw it last time. So I've finished all this up. This has been the single most complicated colour work I have ever done. And I've done a lot of colour work. It's upside down. Oh my goodness. It's turned out a lot bigger than anybody expected. Right. So this is one end. This is the other end. There's like no good way to show you and getting the whole lot in. So that's the actual pattern. So this, and my chair is stuck now. This is a pattern that I designed along with the child. I originally had something like 7 or 8 different colours in it, but we got it down to 4. So it's all Stylecraft Special. The start colour here is Midnight, which is a really dark blue. And then we have the bright orange is Jaffa. The dark red is Claret. And this like the pinky colour. I'm going to find a bit where you can see like some decent, like the pinky colour bits in here is Raspberry. Now, I carried all of my yarn because as you can see, I used a 4mm hook for it. As you can see, the colour changes are intense. There was no way that was getting bobbinated. So yeah, I used a ball of the Midnight at either end, and then the rest of them in the middle, I just crisscross. So the pattern is from a game called Geometry Dash, which is like, it looks like an 80s game, but it's apparently very high tech and stuff. And you're basically this little character and you're going high speed and you need to get across the screen, and it's like obstacles and you're flying through. It's like a little spaceship or dragon or whatever, a little block. And he loves it. He plays it all the time. And the levels in it are called demons. And this is one of the areas in it, which is called Slaughterhouse, I believe. And he does really like this picture. My youngest, my 10-year-old, is into things like collecting. He has a skull collection, not real skulls, plastic ones. The skull collection. He likes stuff like that. He likes horror movies and creepy stuff and horror type things. He has a favourite serial killer. He's never watched any of the movies because he's too young, but he's a fan of Jason. But yeah, he's very happy with it. And I really like all the crochet is now done on it. Did I say I use stitch fiddle? Probably not. Sorry, this is all over the place now. I used stitch fiddle to make the pattern, and then I got it down to 4 colours because the amount of colours in it otherwise was just too intense. It's going to be getting backed in this tartan fleece, which unfortunately it's about 4 inches too short. It's like the perfect width. I don't know how I've managed this, but I've managed to make the blanket the perfect width for this piece of fabric. But it's about 4 inches too short. So what we're going to do is just graft a bit of this dark green onto the end to see that the tartan's got green in it as well. So yeah, we're just going to stick 4 inches of that on the end of it, sew it together, and you'll have a nice big cozy blanket. It's the same size. He's got a single bed, and it's the same size as his bed. So yeah, he's super happy with it. I'm so happy it's finished because that's been a big project that's just been sitting there making me feel guilty, taking up a lot of space, and yeah, it's a huge project now. I have, out of all my whips, I have like a priority list of things that I have to get done, so it's things that are like time sensitive, or yeah, it's mainly things that are time sensitive. So that's like the first one off that list. It's a list that I made today. So yeah, that's that one done. And I'm like so happy with it. I'm so happy that it's done. Because putting the back on is not going to take long. It's literally just going to be a case of lay it down, clip it with my clips out of my bag. This is the bag that I showed last week. I still haven't sewed the ends in. But this bag will be available. I do believe that Jenny's looking to release this on the 1st of August, I think. So yeah, if you pop over to her, she's really active on Instagram as well. So if you pop over to her Instagram, then I'm sure you'll get updates on there for it. But that bag's brilliant for doing things like this where you have to clip a lot and just drag the bag around with you. I'm probably going to like tie these together and make a little loop to go around my wrist so that as I'm clipping I can just pick them out. So yeah, that's my big almost finished whip. Let's see, other whips that we have. Started another blanket, another corner to corner. See, this is the basket that Alfie's blanket was in, and now it's going to house the many corner to corners. This one's just about getting ready for the decrease. That red is so bright, oh my god. These are just like corner to corner blankets that I'm using up all my scraps and then donating them all to charity. The yarn shop up the road from me takes the blankets and gives them to a hospice. 4mm hook. This is a grommet hook. Ooh, is that going to work? You probably can't see that. I got these hooks years ago on, you know, like on the front of a magazine, and they're really good. I've got a 4mm and a 5mm. So I've been making up these magic balls just with all my scraps, and it's a way for me to have a mindless project to do, get rid of a bunch of scraps and actually make them into something useful so that somebody can use them. Yeah, so I'm just carrying, that's just going to be an ongoing project for a while. That's actually on my priority list, but as like an ongoing project, because I need to start like getting rid of, so like, oh, on that side I've got these boxes that are just full of yarn, and a lot of them it's full of yarn that I've bought for a specific project and I've got a ball left over, or I've got half a ball left over, and yeah, a lot of it's like colours that I don't use anymore because I make different things, or like stuff. I used to make a lot of blankets and I don't really make blankets to sell anymore, so I've got lots and lots of just acrylic balls, part balls and everything that I'm just going to try and use up and see if I can get my stash under control a little bit. So yeah, that's that one. And I have a knitting whip. I think I only have two more. I have two more to show you. Now, I'll show you these on here. I had showed you these before. These are the Most Ardently socks. These are by Kelly Menzies at Roro and Cades, and they're for her Cal. And she's doing, it's not a bi-monthly Cal. Every 2 months she puts one of her patterns on sale and we all collectively knit that one pattern. You can put things in there for prizes and whatever. And the July-August socks are the Most Ardently. Now, I had started these before and I had done like 2 repeats or something, and then I realised that I'm a moron and I can't count, so I ripped them out and started again. I now have the ability to count, and look how cute they are. Do you know what? I would never normally pick up brown yarn because it's just not a colour that I gravitate towards. But ooh, I had got this. You can't really see how tonal it is in that. You can kind of see it on the socks though. I had got this yarn to make something for somebody else. Look at the tones in that. So pretty. To make something for somebody else, and then we decided to go a different way with the colours. So I ended up with this brown skinny yarn, and I think it's a Yarnworks one. I'm pretty sure it's a Yarnworks, but I don't have the band for it anymore. And so I thought, last pattern that was on for the Cal was the Daedalus socks, and I had a bit of the Yarnsmith Merino in baby pink, and I thought I'll have that with the brown, and it turned out really, really nicely. Let's see if I can find a picture of my Daedalus socks. Yay, there's my little feet. So when I had finished those, I still had quite a bit of the brown yarn left, and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to make some more shorties, because I've got quite a lot of like longer socks. I don't have many shorties, and it's summer, and I like wearing them with my trainers. I'll tell you about my trainers in a bit as well. But I decided I'm going to make little shorties with these, and I've still got a bit of that merino sock left, so I'm going to do the cuffs in pink, because I'm not sure how much yarn I'm actually going to have with this. But yeah, I'm doing these from my 2.25 unicorn needles. If you haven't seen these before, can you kind of see that? They're like spirals, and they're really good. I like them. I've got a pink cord. So these are also on the priority. I'll go through the priority listing in my plans section, but these are on it as well. And I'm really enjoying them. If you've never done lace before, I recommend them as a pattern. It's a 4-row repeat and 2 of the rows are the same. So it's really, really quick and easy. If you have to like concentrate on something, then having a 4-row repeat is good, and it's very, very simple lace. There's nothing complicated in it. It's just the way that she's used very simple stitches to give a really, really pretty effect, and I can't wait to get them finished. But if you want to make socks and you want to make lace socks, I would recommend that pattern, because like I say, it's simple stitches. There's nothing too complicated in there at all, and she does write very good patterns. You will have heard me banging on about patterns before, because apparently I need to rename this as the Kelly Appreciation Podcast, because I'm always knitting one of her patterns, it would seem. Oh, she's getting married this month as well. In fact, did she get married already? I think she got married yesterday. I don't know, because I don't know what day I'm on anymore. Anyway. Right. The last thing that I have to show you, I haven't worked on my head cell at all, because I've been trying to get the blanket finished. And I think this is the last thing this is the last thing I want to show you. So I spin a wheel to decide what cross stitch I'm going to work on for the week. I'm also supposed to work on my Heaven and Earth sal every day, but I haven't been doing that this week because I've been trying to get the blanket finished. But I did do some of this. I'm spinning. I've got all my cross stitch whips in a wheel, and we spin the wheel, and whatever that lands on, I work on that for at least 30 minutes a day. So last week I landed on these ones. This is the Elements one. These are the Mood subscription boxes. They're really good. It's a bi-monthly box. I have actually paused mine at the moment because I've got like 4 boxes sitting there I've not touched. So I've paused mine for the moment, but they're really good. Excellent quality stuff. In them you'll get the pattern, you get your hoop, you get your fabric, you get you get another bit of fabric for when you're putting it in the hoop to display it. You put this fabric in between your piece and the hoop, and it stops the light from shining through it. And you've got the threads. My threads are in a bit of a mess. It uses paint box threads, which I'm actually quite pleased with. I've never used them before. And I'll show you this, it's showing the pattern. But you get a little QR code there as well. For I didn't show it long enough for it to focus, but you get a little QR code so that you can go off and get the digital copy of the pattern. So this is the elements one, like I said. So ignore the fact that it's got a big bit of thread stuck to it. And I had already done fire, which is this one, and I did water, which is this one. Oh, we're going that way. It's got the little bolts and the little waves. It's lovely. I'm very happy with that. So I've still got, I think it's like earth on that side and air on that side. And there's quite a lot of stitching in them because they're full coverage. Here we go. They are full coverage. So they do have quite a lot of stitches in them. But again, she doesn't make overly complicated patterns. They're all full cross. I think it's 16 count fabric. 16 count air it comes on. Comes with the needle as well. But I would recommend getting these. All the patterns are really nice. You get lots of extra stuff in the boxes. Yeah, they're just nice, easy patterns because they're all full cross. They don't have partials, they don't have backstitch. You know, they're pleasant to work on. I know some people like doing backstitch, and I know some people like things with fractionals in them and beads and all sorts of things. I don't mind a bit of beading. I hate fractional stitches. They drive me crazy. I can never get them to look neat. And backstitch is, I have a relationship with backstitch. So I did that. Right, so let's have a wee look and see what I'm going to be doing this week. Right, can I get you to focus? Right, this is a new start. This is, I think, the only new start on here. Ooh, wait till I find this. Where would it be? No, where is it? What have I done with it? Let's see. Probably left it on my Google Drive. Sorry. Just talk amongst yourselves. Okay, here we go. It is this. This is by Unconventional Cross Stitch. The favourite. It says 2/1. I'll probably do it 10 stitch though. And artwork is by, who's the artwork by? Oh, there we go. Omar Ryan, 2014. So I had originally seen that picture. It was like a meme that went around years ago at Christmas time, and it had written on it, "When you can't spell, but you ask Santa for a puppy." And I loved the picture so much, and then I was like, I seen it. I didn't realise it was not like an actual piece of artwork, but then I should have realised because, you know, medieval people are weird. And then I seen it as an actual thing, and I was like, oh, I need to get that. So that'll be a new start. That's very exciting. Oh, I've not got it kitted up yet, so I will need to. I've got the fabric. I know I definitely bought fabric for it. I just haven't bought the threads and kitted it up. But I should have enough threads there to at least make a start on it. Yeah, even if I've got just like 1 or 2 colours, and make a start on it. And then we started. And, ooh, I'm excited. I'm very excited about this. Okay, so that's all the things I have to show you. Plans. Right. A few little things that I have planned. I have my priority list. Let me talk about my priority list. I have certain things I want to get done. So, Alfie's blanket, I need to get the backing on that. So I've got my list on here. The notes app on my phone is like amazing. Between this and my big diary thing, that's just how I live my life now. So the first thing to get finished is Alfie's blanket. That's priority number 1. But that just needs the backing on it. I will get that finished tomorrow. I also have on here, for Alfie, he needs a tablet case because, do you remember I made him one last week but didn't fit him? I haven't had time to make him a new one. So that's a priority as well, because he was meant to have it last week and he needs one because he tends to just leave his tablet sitting around because he's 10. So tablet is another priority. The Ardently socks are on my priority list because they need to be finished by the end of August, and I want them done well before that, because I think the Daydale socks I was right up until the last few days, and I don't want to be in that position again, especially not for a pair of shorty socks that I'm enjoying knitting on. So the Ardently socks are on there. The apron and hot pad for my boyfriend, but as long as they're done, I've got like a week and a half to do them, but I want them done by the next time I see him. He doesn't care. They could not be done until Christmas and he wouldn't care, but I would like them done by the next time I see him. The pig. Does anybody remember the pig? I started making it for Alfie ages ago, and I was designing him a pig because he wanted it to look a very specific way, and it went in a bag and I forgot about it. So the pig is back out as a priority as well. The corner to corner blankets with the scraps, that is just going to be an ongoing until I've got rid of all my scraps. That is the lowest priority of everything on here, but it is something that I can just pick up and work on and do a few stitches. So it's just going to sit there in the basket, and whenever I get 5 minutes, I'll just pick up and do a few stitches. My cat for my Stitcher library, that also needs to be done. I have started it. I'm about halfway through it, so that needs to get worked on and get finished, because that shouldn't be such a long project. And again, it's because I've been working on the blanket. And the last thing that I have on here as a priority list is I want to start doing monthly challenges again, because I've done them before and I find that they make me very productive. So what I was going to do was, for August, I'm going to do a monthly challenge. And I've done these for lots of different things before. I've done them for making sure I drink enough water, make sure I do enough steps, make sure I eat properly, because I have ADHD. So these things that some people find very, very easy, sometimes I find very, very difficult. So stuff like, yeah, it's things like eating, sleeping, you know, the basic stuff that keeps you alive. So I quite often do these monthly challenges for things outside of crafting. So I thought I might quite like to do some crafting ones to keep me a bit more motivated. And initially I was thinking I'm going to do a sewing one, and I'm going to sew every day in August, and then make a little short about it and put it up on YouTube. And then when I was looking at my stitchy stuff, I was like, do you know what? I need to get work. But it wasn't so much looking at my stitchy stuff. It was when I was making my priority list, and then I was also looking and collecting up my stitchy stuff to show you. I thought, I've not worked on my head all week, and I'm like, right, if I make that a priority and try and get the 6 pages finished, because very, very briefly, it's a year-long stitch-along. If you finish all 6 pages, then you get all the other patterns that are in the stitch-along. You buy one, and then there's like another 11 patterns that you can get if you finish the 6 pages. So I want to get the 6 pages finished, and then that'll be going away for a bit, because it's a lot. But I thought, I wonder, with the amount of stitches I have left on it, because we're on what, the 29th of July now. How many days are in July? 10 days of September. Alright, so we've got like a couple of days left in this month. With the amount of stitches that I've got left, how many stitches a day do I need to do to have my 6 pages finished by the end of August? And if I do 875 stitches, which is a lot, I am doing them half cross, but it's a lot. But let me show you. For anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, let me show you the picture. Oh. Right. There we go. So the 6 pages I'm doing are like the top section, pretty much. So all this sky up here. This is Heaven and Earth Designs. You can't buy this. This stuff for the stitch-alongs is just for the stitch-alongs. You can't buy them separately. So I'm doing half crosses on it. Quite a lot of it is like chunks of sky, or like not so much chunks of sky, but there is a lot of sky, and the sky's not terribly difficult to stitch on because it doesn't have that many colours in it. And you can see how things like the clouds, you can see how they're being shaped and stuff. So you can kind of tell when you go wrong. So I'm thinking I can maybe try that. I can maybe try doing 875 stitches a day and have that as like my focus. And then by the end of August, my 6 pages will be done. I'm having a look at previous amounts that I have stitched in a day, and they range anything from like 200 stitches, because originally that's what I'd done on my Stitch Pal app. And on my Stitch Pal app, if I do 200 stitches a day, I'll be finished by the 1st of December. And that's how I've worked it out. I've put it into Stitch Pal. So if I do 875 stitches a day, I'll be finished by the end of August. So I think I'm going to have that as a monthly challenge. Because yeah, my stitches range anything from like 200 stitches a day to like 1600 stitches a day, depending on how long I've spent on it. And I think the kids are off until the end of August. They go back. It's the last couple of days in August that they go back, so the kids will be home. However, I tend to get up rather early, and just having some quiet stitchy time in the morning, or some quiet stitchy time at night time, because I've got a stitching lamp. I think I could do it. And I think even if I don't manage to do it, it'll make a massive dent in it. So I think it's worth trying. And then I might do the sewing thing for September, because I've got tons of fabric that I need to get through as well. And I've got lots of books with lots of patterns in them. But yeah, is there anything else you think would be good for a monthly challenge? Because I do enjoy a challenge, and I think I could make this a thing where I have a different challenge every month. But yeah, I'm going to start off doing the head one. I was still kind of swithering between them, but I've just made up my mind. Now that I've talked it out with you, I've decided I'm going to do my head and get that finished, because then that's another big thing off my mind and done. And yeah, it means that I'm not sitting constantly knitting and constantly crocheting. It's like doing something different, because it's still very hot as well. It was only like 24. 24 is not even hot now, because it's been like 30 and 32 and stuff. But it's been so humid. It's been just, the air is thick and horrible and sticky. It's not good. However, I also have a new routine. So what I've been doing, because I get up early, as mentioned, I have ADHD. The sleeping's a bit iffy, to say the least. And I naturally wake up quite early, which my mother would find hilarious because she used to have to drag me out of my bed. My dad used to come in and pour cold water on my face to wake me up to go to school because my mum would spend like 2 hours trying to drag me out of bed. And then my dad would just be like pouring water on me. And then my mum would go nuts at him because the bed's wet. Not because her darling daughter got traumatised, but because the bed would be wet. That's what happens when you grow up in the 80s. Right, so because I get up early in the morning, I tend to find that by lunchtime, just after lunchtime, I'm kind of flagging a bit and I'm feeling a bit tired. And I was watching, I can't remember who it was I was watching, but I was watching this video program. It's not a video at all. I was watching a program on the telly about how people have different natural sleep patterns and how like different places in the world have like different sleep patterns and how it affects them. And obviously, like, Americans don't sleep because they're constantly at work or constantly on call when they're not actually physically at work. Like, the work culture there is crazy. And then you have places like in the Mediterranean where they have siestas. And my boyfriend's Italian. And he's like, yeah, like, unless you're going out to work and you're at work all day, then people have a nap in the afternoon because that's when it's hot, you just had your lunch, you know, and then they don't eat until late at night as well. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try this out, and it's been working really well for me. I've been doing it for a couple of weeks now, and while the kids are on holiday, it's actually working out not too badly because what I'm doing is I'm getting up at like whatever time in the morning, like 5, 6 in the morning, and I'm getting up and getting some work done and chilling out and give, because although I wake up early, I'm not like a let's go type of get up. I'm like a let me have 3 cups of coffee and don't speak to me kind of get up. I'm not a morning person, even though I get up early. So yeah, it gives me a chance to gradually wake up. And yeah, it means I get a little bit of peace in the morning to just like drink my coffee and do a bit of work and whatever. And then the kids get up and I'll like spend some time doing stuff with the kids. And then we'll have lunch. And then after lunch, they can have a couple of hours of game time on the computers. And I go for a nap for like an hour or 2 hours. Like, it's usually about an hour. They're old enough so that, you know, they're fine just to sit and play the computer for an hour. But it just gives me that little bit of, like, refreshes me. Because the other thing is, it doesn't matter if I'm tired or not at night time. If I go to bed, I don't sleep. So what was happening was I was only getting somewhere between 3 and 5 hours of sleep a night. So just having this little nap in the afternoon just kind of regulates me a little bit, makes me less grumpy. I get grumpy when I'm tired. I also get very brain foggy, and I'm brain foggy anyway because between the ADHD and the perimenopause and just the general, I have to try and do a billion things, you know, the brain fog's a thing. And it's been helping with that quite a lot. So yeah, I'm trying this, like, going with the natural rhythm thing. I've also been meal prepping my meals, which, as it turns out, is a lot easier than I thought. I've just been cooking all my meals on either a Sunday or a Monday in the slow cooker, and it's a case of just throw everything in the slow cooker. Once it's done, take it out, whack it into things, put them in the freezer, take them out, put them in the microwave every day. And it means the kids can have things that they like without it affecting me. Because I'm dieting, I don't want to eat things like chips or sausages or like you know, stuff kids like. And they do eat quite healthy stuff. What we do now is we're doing a meal plan every week where they get to pick half the meals each, and then one meal that they agree on together. And yeah, it's been working really well, and I've been very, very proud of them. They have been picking proper meals. They've been picking meals with vegetables in them. They've got a mix of healthy stuff and like nice stuff like chicken dippers and stuff like that. But they're kids. They shouldn't be eating health food all the time. They shouldn't be eating diet food all the time. You know, they should have a varied diet of all different stuff. So yeah, we've got a nice little system going. It's working out really well. And it means that they get involved more in the meal prep, and they get involved more in, like, they can work out the price of food and things like that, because I think that's quite an important thing that kids don't really get taught, is how much it actually costs to be an adult and how much it costs to eat and pay your bills and things like that. So we're obviously not deep diving into it, but they have like a fair idea of how much stuff costs now. They understand that you can make several meals with different things. Like if we buy the big bag of chicken dippers, then that'll last for 2 meals rather than the small bag, which you'll just do for one, and that's more economical. You know, stuff like that. It teaches them. I'm also getting them cooking a little bit as well, which is cool, because they both enjoy cooking. And it's just teaching them to be a little bit self-sufficient and a little bit more like showing some initiative, because my children don't show initiative with very much at all. And apparently that's not just them, it's just a thing. I remember when my oldest Cameron, when he moved out and he went and he was spending time with his friends who had their own houses, and he's like, Mum, these people, I don't know how they're even alive. They don't know how to do anything at all. They don't know how to cook anything. They don't know how to make a cup of tea. They don't know how... He's a right tea, Jenny. So they don't know how to do anything. They don't know how to use a washing machine. So yeah, all my kids, I make sure they know how to do basic stuff. That was an unexpected rant and tangent, sorry. So yeah, that's my plans for this week, is just to work through my priority list, starting with the blanket, and then hopefully next week I'll have some more stuff to show you and a start on my new cross stitch, which I'm very excited about. I know I did say I wasn't going to have any more like starting new things until I got rid of some of my whips, but at the same time, why not? I'm really trying to like work through things and reduce the stash a little bit as well. Oh, I need to find something else that I can knit while I'm reading as well. I'm going to look through the whips that I have. I think I have a shawl that's just straight garter stitch, and it's got like bits at the end, like staggered, like a dragon teeth, dragon scale. I don't know what they're called, but you know the sort of thing that I mean. It's like crescent shaped, but staggered at the edges. I'm sure I've got one of them, and if I have, then that would be ideal for sitting knitting on as well, because I don't really want to start anything new until, you know, I don't want to start something new for the sake of having something to read, to knit on while I read, if I have something that's already there. Okay, I think that's probably everything. So much for being quick. We're just about to hit 45 minutes. Thank you if you stayed to the end. If you have put up with all my waffling and you have not yet subscribed and you would like to, it would be much appreciated. If you are already subscribed, if you could press the little like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you've been up to. Yeah, I enjoy reading the comments. I enjoy seeing what other people are doing. And yeah, I'll be back next week with another podcast. And next week will be in August, so I will have already started my 875 stitches a day on my head cell. See how I'm getting on with that. Right, I will be back next week. Bye.